Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. I hope you guys are all doing very well. It is currently Sunday night. I just hit stop record on my last vlog and start on this vlog, and so the lighting is still rough for aforementioned reasons. If you want to hear that whole rant, I'll link you to last week's vlog. But it is getting late-ish at night, and I thought, why not? Why not start another week's reading vlog and get this week off to a good start? I am very excited because this week I am going home to spend some time with my parents, my brother's fiance, and do a little family Thanksgiving. I usually see my family for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I try to. Obviously, I often work holidays, and so I'm not always going to get to do that, but I'm very blessed this year that I have both Thanksgiving and Christmas off. So I'm going to be traveling home. It's like a 5-6 hour road trip home. So definitely some audiobooks are in my future this coming week. But without further ado, let us get into the TBR. So first off, we have this holdover book, The House of Spirits by Isabel Allende. I do have, also apologize if I am mispronouncing this name. I will look it up and make sure that I am pronouncing it right before the end of this video. This is a book that I'm supposed to be reading for an in-person book club on Tuesday night. It is currently Sunday, and I'm on page 60 out of 500. Will I get it done? I don't know, but regardless of if I get it done by Tuesday or not, I will definitely read this week. This is a magical realism family saga that goes over many years. It is Isabel Allende's debut in the book that really springboarded her into the literary scene back in the 70s, 80s. I want to say 80s. It does say 40th anniversary edition, so I'm going to guess 80s. So yeah, I have enjoyed the first part of it. A couple of complaints is that the chapters are very long and the font is very small, so it is a little slow moving, but I am really attached to a lot of the characters. I like the magical realism aspect of it, which is so far just peppered in and not too heavy, and I think that's great for somebody who hasn't read a lot of magical realism, so it's easing me into it a bit. Some of the other girls in the book club have been putting in comments saying that they don't love it as much. So I'm a little bit worried about where it may go. But so far, I've been very pleasantly surprised by this. So this is the first one. Next, I would love to read The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Laurie Gilmore, the second book in the Dream Harbor series. I meant to get to this last week and the week got away from me. But this is a cozy, spicy romance. You could read this as a standalone, but it does have some recurring characters. So I would recommend reading Pumpkin Spice Cafe if you really want to be in it for the whole road. This is about a bookstore owner and a fisherman who have a romance. So there's that one. And then I always imagined for Thanksgiving week I would read this book called Wreck, which is the sequel to Sandwich by Catherine Newman. It is a book, this was a book about a mom who felt very disconnected from her family because she was sandwiched between her kids who were getting older, so she didn't feel like she knew them, and her parents who were aging, and so she also felt distanced from them. And I enjoyed this. I gave it a 3, I want to say, or a 3.5, and I think this dealt a lot with menopause, and I'm just not at a point in my life where that's something that I relate to as much, but the writing itself was really good, and I did like the family dynamics and how that all played out. And Wreck itself, I believe, takes place over Thanksgiving, and so I thought it would be a good one for this week. So I don't know if I'm going to go buy the physical book of that. I do want to have them both because I really like the covers of them, or if I'm going to listen to it on audio and get it at some point later. But I would love to read that this week as well. I leave to go home on Wednesday, so I have a few days, finish up my work week, chill for a day, and then go home for the holiday weekend. So with that, I am going to head to bed. I'm very tired. Last day of the work week tomorrow, Monday. I end my work weeks on Monday. It's a little bit weird, but I'm really excited to just be done, get to sleep in, and kick this week off. So with that, welcome to this week's reading vlog. So happy Tuesday. I have a lovely cup of this peppermint green rooibos tea that I got today at the grocery store. Whew, it's hot. Okay, we're going to wait for a second. But it does smell divine. I just got back from my in-person book club meeting for a book that I have not finished, Delinquent Book Reader, Book Club Member Behavior. But I did kind of run it by everybody and I was like, hey, I had a brutal work week. I'm very happy to sit this one out. What do you guys think? And they were like, just come, we'll try not to talk about spoilers and we'll just do it that way for this time. So that was really, really lovely. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling just a little bit slumpy with this. I think it's because I started it and then I haven't read as much over the past couple of days. So only on page 118. I do think on my road trip tomorrow to go back home, I'm going to try and listen to this for a good amount of it and see how I go and not try to pressure myself if it doesn't feel right. I am enjoying the audiobook a bit more than the physical book at the moment, though, so I feel like maybe that is my in to get more into it. But this is about this family in Chile, and it's a little bit hard to describe because you're following different members at different points in their life. But it kind of starts out at the beginning of the 1900s. And certain members of the family have different magical abilities. The most pertinent or the one that is mentioned most often is an ability to like see into the future or interpret dreams or those types of things. So not like spells per se, at least at the point where we're at, or that type of magic, but more just reading more into things than we really are able to do. And I do kind of like that loose magical realism, like not too magical, but a little bit that just expands the ceiling of what can happen. So I do enjoy that. As I said, it is quite long-winded. The chapters are very long. And somebody at book club said something that I thought was so like insightful. And that is that this book feels like life and that, we get one story and then that person might die and then we go to another story and then that might, it's like the ebbs and flows, but not the drama that I'm sometimes used to with fiction. It just feels very natural. And I can't tell if that's boring because that's just how life goes or if I really enjoy it because it does feel really realistic, despite, of course, the magical moments in it. The pacing, I guess, realistic. So yeah, I will see how I go with this one. I don't have much more, of course, to tell you, and I do plan to listen to it tomorrow a bit. And then I think I will also bring this to Thanksgiving and start this in person once I get to my parents' house. So, but I have not started this yet. And then I do have a wee book haul. I went to Barnes & Noble to get one book, and then I ended up picking up 3 books. So I wanted to just tell you guys about those. So first off, the one that you expected me to pick up is Wreck by Catherine Newman. I really enjoy the cover of this. And I'm really, really eager to read it. It says, full of laughter and heart about marriage, family, and what happens when life doesn't go to plan. Do you know what? That seems like sometimes how Thanksgiving goes. So, going to be reading this hopefully at the end of this week. And then I got 2 unintentional books. Also, shout out to this lovely group of girls at Barnes & Noble. They were so lovely. And the girl or woman, she looked about my age, who was the cashier. It was obviously like her first day kind of using the cash register, and I could tell she was like a little bit flustered because they're obviously like I was there kind of checking out and she wanted to make sure she was like pressing the buttons right. And like she just had this group of like 2 or 3 coworkers that were helping her out, and they were just so supportive and like lovely. And it was one of those just like feel good moments. Like, no, I don't know how to even describe it or like why it impacted me so much, but like no pressure, no tension, just like we're all trying to help each other out so that we can get this task done. And I was just like here for whatever. So yeah, that was lovely. And okay, so a couple of books that I picked up. I've seen this a couple of times around, and the first time I was able to resist it. Today I was not. It's Christmas Crimes at the Mysterious Bookshop. 12 tales of seasonal suspense set in the world's oldest mystery bookstore. Like, yes, thank you very much. It says, the oldest mystery bookstore in the world, the Mysterious Bookshop, has for more than 45 for more has for most of its 45-year history commissioned an original short story as a holiday gift for its customers, written exclusively for the store and never published elsewhere before now. The prompt for the story requires 3 elements. It has to be set at Christmas time, that it must involve a crime of some sort or suspicion of one, and then it has to be set at least in part in the bookstore. And from those loose structural guidelines, diverse tales take flight. The dozen tales include in this volume, and then it goes on to talk about like what's in here. But this cover, like, tell me how anybody is supposed, I can't tell, is it focusing? Like, how is anybody supposed to walk past that? It's not possible. So yeah, I think this would be really fun to read in the December vlogs. I think that this looks really, really adorable. I love the story behind it. I love that someone put that into an anthology. It has incredible kind of Christmassy colors, green end pages. It's just my book. So I hope it's not disappointing. And then I have been hearing a lot about this book, Buckeye by Patrick Ryan. I think the thing that made me pick it up, it was Amazon's Book of the Year. So the editors of the Amazon Book Review basically pick a book, and I think they have a lot of books, but they actually do end up picking like one single book that they want to name the Book of the Year. And it was this. It's about a small town in Ohio, and it takes off right at the end of World War II and kind of goes from there. I think it follows several families in the town. It's one of these like sweeping narratives. Chunkster, extreme chunkster, over 400 pages. But I thought that this just looked so interesting, and I really, really would love to read this, hopefully before the end of the year. But I also do have to read the Something of Sunny. I'll put the I'll put the cover on the screen because I'm forgetting the title, which is another sweeping, chunky book before the end of the year. So we shall see. I do need to pack to go home for 3 days, and I just don't think I have it in me right now. I think I'm going to wake up tomorrow and pack and then hit the road maybe around like 10 or 11. And yeah, so I think I'm going to curl up on the couch, maybe read the beginning of this with the plan of doing this exclusively on audiobook for right now and enjoy my nice cup of tea. Happy Saturday. You guys will see by the stockings up that I've decorated for Christmas. The tree is behind you. I wanted to film like in front of the tree, but with the lighting situation in this room, I don't think it's going to work, but it will be in lots of my December vlog clips. And you should have just seen if it's all edited and everything, a little uh, clip of me putting together the tree and getting it all decorated. And yeah, there were a couple new ornaments this year. I got my Disneyland 70th anniversary one, my first visit ever to Disneyland. I did vlog that week, so I'll link that if you're interested to see how that week went. Um, Also, my Colorado trip that I did in the summer was a new ornament this year. I think those were the main ones, but lots of fun memories as I was putting together the tree. And the cats are already making it a mess. Gilbert likes to nest on like the little tree skirt and he always like scuffs it so it'll be all wrinkled. But 'tis the season, right? And then of course we have stockings that are the same size as ours for our cats. Say you're a crazy cat lady without saying you're a crazy cat lady. But anyways, 'tis the season and we are very, very happy. It is snowy outside. We're getting like kind of a surprise snowstorm tonight and there's already about 2 or 3 inches on the ground. So it feels really perfect that today was the day that we decorated for Christmas and it's kind of a winter wonderland. I had a lovely Thanksgiving break, got to spend some much needed time with family. We played some board games. My family's very like strategy board game family. So we played this game called Quacks, which I really enjoyed and was fun for a group of people. We did it as a group of 3 and then also as a group of 4, and it worked great. And we also did a giant cat jigsaw, which was also really fun. 500 pieces, very easy. Each of the cats was very distinct, so it was easy to put together. But that probably was in the B-roll as well. And then we harvested a lot of persimmons. My dad is a big fan of persimmons. So you'd think it would be kind of late in the season, but there's actually a few still on the tree. So we went to go harvest some persimmons, make persimmon bread, which was divine. I brought a loaf home for Tyler. And overall, it was just a really, really lovely couple of days with family, just recharging. Did a couple of little Christmas shopping bits and bobs, but still have a lot to do there. And believe it or not, I did actually get a decent amount of reading done. I finished 2 books and have like started a 3rd book. So I thought I would tell you some of my thoughts. I am definitely going to come in and do my wrap-up clip tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have finished the 3rd book tomorrow. And then as it will be the last vlog of the November vlogs, I will do my favorite segment tomorrow, which is where I talk about my favorites of the month. So you can get a sense of other things I've been enjoying in November. But first book I finished was The House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende. I think I called this The House of Spirits before, but it's actually The House of the Spirits. I ended up listening to a lot of this on audio, which I really enjoyed. I thought the narrator was excellent. I gave this a 3 stars. I think that this was very well written. I think there are some people that will read this and absolutely love it, as evidenced by the Goodreads rating of a 4.3, which is extremely high. I think I discovered something a little bit about myself while reading this, and that is that I'm, at least in part, a very character-centric reader. And I think that this had a lot of characters. Some were well developed, some weren't, but I don't know that I was really rooting for or connected to any of them intensely. Like, if you compare this, it's a similar-ish length to Gentleman in Moscow, which is a book that I read last month. Last month? Yes, last month. Just look at my stack. At the beginning of each vlog I put a little clip of all the books that I've read that month, and it is under this coffee table right here. So that's what I was looking at. But similar length, a little bit longer, spans a huge amount of time. But for some reason, I was like so gripped by the characters in that story and not so much by these. And I don't I can't put my finger on why, which is a little bit frustrating. I wish there was a little bit more show rather than tell in this one. You could kind of tell it was a debut in that sense. And my other qualm with this is I'm not really sure that the magical realism added so much to the story, and to like make that decision to make it a magical realism book, even if it was light, like I kind of get what they were going for, but I'm just not sure that it was really needed. Some of the themes in this book are like global politics versus insular politics. Like you are very much following Chile over this very tumultuous time, but you're also following this family over a tumultuous time, and you kind of see how the dynamics of those two things talk to each other and don't. How history kind of repeats itself and it's all just like repeating over generations of time. How everybody in this book is kind of not the best person. I don't know. For some reason, this is not going to be a favorite of mine. However, if what I talked, like the synopsis sounds interesting based on what I've said, I probably would still recommend that you pick it up because a lot of people have really enjoyed it. I seem to be the unpopular opinion. So 3 stars for this one. And then I don't remember if I really have told you anything. I need to start watching my clips back so I don't repeat myself. But I did finish Wreck by Catherine Newman, which I gave a 3.5 stars. About halfway through this book, I was going to give it a 2 stars and like call it quits. But the end of this book really got me. And so I don't know, like some of the time I don't feel like I connect with this story at all. And some of the time, like I really, really resonated with it. So we're following this mom, Rocky, in a very tumultuous time. 2 years on from the first book in this series, Sandwich. I would recommend that you read Sandwich first because you could get bits of it, but there's like a lot of continuation. So I think you should read that book first. But basically, she and her family are in a period of uncertainty for a lot of different reasons. There is a teenage boy who has died in a really traumatic, awful way, and people don't know, like, was it a suicide? Was it an accident? And the whole community, Rocky, her family, everybody are really trying to process this. And there's a lot of commentary, too, about how we use social media to process things as a community, like when a community is going through something like this, that I thought was really interesting. Like we try to empathize by looking at people's social media presence and like, is that so helpful or is it not? And so that's one kind of aspect of like this being a tough time for her. But then also she is going through a difficult time because she has all these medical symptoms that she isn't able to like piece together, and like doctors are not talking to each other, tests don't make any sense. She's trying to like understand like test results that come onto her phone, and having trouble with that. And it's kind of the uncertainty of like the diagnostic process and like what that all means and feeling stuck. And I think it has a lot to say about like in our modern age, we're so used to like quick decisions, right, wrong, black, white. But there's so much gray zone. And that's where we become uncomfortable as humans. And so I loved that exploration. And I thought that was just stunning. That really happened in the second half of the book a bit more. I didn't like, this has a very like, not slapstick humor, but like very blunt, to the point. It feels like you're sitting on the couch with a family and you're like listening to little bits of the conversation, but it's not like a built, coiffed scene. It's just like quick. I don't like anecdotal almost. That's not the right way to describe it, but it's a specific writing style and you're either going to love it or hate it. I don't know that I love the writing style, but I do love some of the things that this book brought up. So 3.5 stars. Would I continue? I don't know. If I did, and if there is another book and I did continue, I would do it on audiobook. So sorry, that was probably a bit of a jumbled review. Wowza, I've been talking for 11 minutes. Okay, I'm 70 pages into the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which so far has been really lovely, although taking place in the summertime. So like what's up with this like very fall-y cover? Although maybe we're like moving into the fall. But at the beginning, uh there's kind of like, how would I describe it? Hazel works in this bookstore and she's finding like dog-eared romance books that are like out of place in the bookstore. And in each of the books, there's like a highlighted line of something that she takes as a clue of like what she should do to make this summer really unforgettable. And so, for instance, one of the clues is like make a milkshake, like a vanilla milkshake. And so she like leans into that and does that. And Noah kind of hears about this. So they kind of embark on this, like following the clues and having this unforgettable summer together. And so we're at the beginning of that. There's a lot of like, how should I say it? Like, oh, should I go on this like summer adventure with this boy? Should I not? Should I'm like, we know you're going to, so like let's just like bring us to the next clue. Um, but otherwise, like fun time, happy to be back in Dream Harbor, enjoy the dynamic between the two so far. So enjoying this. These are always extremely quick reads. I will for sure finish this probably with my morning coffee tomorrow. So, yeah, I am going to go to sleep. It was very it's not late actually, it's like 8 o'clock. I cannot pretend it's late. But I'm tired from the road trip back and all of that. So I'm gonna head to sleep and hopefully tomorrow I have another book to chat with you about that I have finished. All right, my friends, it is Monday. I don't feel super great today. I don't know why. I think I have like a headache, a little bit of achiness, and I'm just like bracing myself for potentially getting sick. But so far, I'm just continuing as is and hoping that I'm fine. Um, Energy wise, I feel fine. I feel like something's coming on. So we'll see. And we're getting another snowstorm tonight. So yeah. I did want to come in and do the monthly favorites and my wrap up clip and share with you a reading update about another book that I finished. So let me start, I guess, first with the book that I finished, then we'll get into my monthly favorites, and then we'll do my wrap up segment at the end, I think. Okay. All right. So I finished the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore this morning and I really loved this. I thought it was great. Very spicy, very steamy. But it was also like had a lot of substance to it too and a lot of heart behind it. So we have, of course, the bookstore owner and a fisherman and this kind of like summer that turns into fall. So less angry about the cover, although it does still feel kind of a little bit of a summery book. Romance between the two of them, where they're both kind of at transitional points in her life or in their lives. Hazel, the bookstore owner, is about to turn 30 and has a lot of, I guess, thoughts, concerns about maybe not living her 20s in the fullest or thinking that maybe she didn't get the most out of her 20s. And then Noah, is his name Noah? Yes, Noah always has this reputation as being a little bit of like a womanizer, and he is trying to like, I guess, redefine himself a little bit. So you have those conflicts, and I just thought it was cute. It was a very cute, fluffy, cozy romance. Is it the greatest thing ever? No, but I gave it 4 stars and I'm having a great time with this series and I will continue with it. All right. So if you guys have been around at the end of my last video of each month, I do a monthly favorites where I talk about some things I've really been enjoying this month. I don't have too many this month, a couple of beauty things and then one food item. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to just pepper them in here before we get to the end of the video. So here we go. First off, it's not a surprise to anybody. It's a good old fashioned spindrift. I'm a little obsessed with spindrifts. if you're not sure what they are just sparkling water with squeezed fruit juice in them, but no added sugars, and they are just fruit juice, so no like extra crap in them. And if you are calorie conscious, uh, I'm not, but just in case you are, they are pretty low calorie, 10 ish calories per can, so pretty much nothing. So a good way to consume water and make it a little bit more fun. At the moment, my favorite flavor is the pink lemonade, which I just find divine. It is so like summery, fruity, and while the weather is crummy outside, I have enjoyed a lot of cups of warm tea, but I've also just enjoyed a fun little Spindrift. Let me know if there's a flavor that you enjoy that I need to check out if you're a Spindrift fan, because the last two favorites are beauty favorites. This one is a lip oil. It's from the brand Merit. And is that upside down? I think so. I can't tell. One way or another. So it is kind of like a lip gloss, but it is very, very lightweight. So it's very moisturizing, but it has similar like applicator to a lip gloss. I don't know if this is wanting to focus. I just find them like so moisturizing and lovely for this time of the year. I don't want anything like super thick and cakey. I just want something that will give my face a little bit of color and keep my lips moisturized. And so I've really been enjoying these. This one is in the color, it's called Twin Set, and it's great. I love it. These I will be enjoying all winter, I'm sure. And last but not least, is a product that is a little bit polarizing. Some people will be like, what in the world is this? But it is this Rich Restoration Balm from Agency, which is an online skincare brand. They are known, I think, for doing like retinols, which I do use and I really enjoy. But this is like the thickest moisturizer you have ever experienced. It's essentially Vaseline. Um, but it's just, I don't know if you can see this thick tube. um, and I don't want it in the morning because it's a little greasy, but if I use it at night, I wake up with this like wonderfully moisturized skin, which is not an experience that I ever have in the wintertime. So I've just been loving this, especially on my hands too. Like at night, I will do it and then I'll wake up, my hands will feel really lovely and moisturized. And I'm having a lot of like breakout issues at this time of the year. You might be able to see like around my mouth is very dry. And so this has been really good to just like keep things in check. But it is greasy. Just know that going into it. All right, so that was my kind of a little abbreviated favorite section, more beauty focused than it normally is. I just don't have a lot of other like things that I've been gravitating towards or really enjoying, but in December, I'm sure I will have a lot because it will be all the Christmassy things for sure. All right, so let us go to the wrap up segment. So this week I read 880 pages, which is about 125 pages per day, which I am really, really thrilled with and is a great reading week in my eyes, especially on a holiday week. Usually I read less. I read 3 books this week. The first one is The House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende, which I gave 3 stars. Then we have Wreck by Catherine Newman, the sequel to Sandwich, which I gave 3.5 stars. And finally, we have The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Laura Gilmore, the second book in the Dream Harbor series, which I gave 4 stars. So, very solid reading week, I would say. The quote this week is actually going to come from The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, and it is on page 245, and this just made me laugh out loud, so hopefully it will give you the same joy. So it's just a little conversation between the two main characters. He says, "Here, give me your bag." He took the large straw bag from her hand, and his eyes widened. "What's in here? Rocks?" "No." He continued to study her with an amused expression, waiting for her to go on. "Mostly snacks and a water bottle and a couple of books." His eyebrows rose at that. "You brought books?" "Yes." "Several?" Of course." "Of course, for what?" Hazel sighed. "To read, in case there's a lull in the excitement." Like, yes, anytime I go on trip anywhere, especially for the holidays, I'm gonna have a few books in my bag, whether it's reasonable or not. So that was a quote for this week. If you made it to the end of this video, leave me a cinnamon bun or pastry emoji for my highest rated book of the week. And with that, thank you for watching all of my November vlogs. We are on to December for next week. So I will see you guys very soon with another video. Bye.